This is ASBR Boxing. Delighted to be joined by Elliot Grigg. And it's final prediction time, Elliot. Obviously, we've just seen the weigh-ins. Everything in fight week for Donny Edwards against Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Unification down at flyweight. Obviously, it's a massive fight going down over in is it Phoenix, Arizona, I believe. Matchroom promoted show. Two belts on the line, arguably the number one and two flyweights fighting each other. It's just got all the makings of an absolute cracker. Obviously, we'll come on to final predictions as this video is all about. But just kind of want to come to you, Elliot, first and say, we're only a matter of hours, really less than 24 hours now. From fight night, what are your last thoughts? And what are you thinking about this fight? Are you excited for it?
You know what, mate? I was excited when it was announced. I was getting increasingly excited actually as it's getting nearer, just simply because we've seen, like they said, the face-offs, the way and all that sort of stuff. Like Sonny's finally got a bit of needle out of Bam, hasn't he? Finally, like it's taken a long time, like a concerted Twitter campaign almost, blaming him not for selling the show, whatever. But yeah, I am actually. I thought that the words that have been exchanged have actually made me far more excited for it. Actually, even though no one gave predictions to me, I'm not sure my prediction has changed, but. It's a shame. I always think it's a shame that like guys down at that weight don't necessarily get the hype that the bigger guys get. But this for me is a really live fight, and I'm a big fan of Sonny Edwards as well. So yeah, looking forward to this one.
Yeah, mate, I echo every sentiment you've mentioned there. I think the fact that Sonny Edwards is so funny. Like I think the way he said he was various interviews and stuff he did, he was just like, I was so quiet on Twitter because I was afraid he was going to pull out of the fight. Was more or less what he was saying. Waited until the press conference until he's 2 days away from the fight, and then he just laid into the Jesse Rodriguez, and I was like, "Go on, Sonny, brilliant, absolutely brilliant." If there's one man that you don't want to get into a Twitter spat with, or face to face as well, it's Sonny Edwards. I would
Mm.
just steer clear. Even you know what, I would just accept defeat before it even began if I was trying to have an argument or a
I would
discussion
I
with
would
Sonny Edwards.
deactivate and go into hibernation for a certain period of time, 100%. We've seen him body a lot of people even this past week. I don't know whether he's getting like a bit obviously down at the weight, he's getting a bit itchy as the fight gets nearer, but we've seen him take some knockout victories over this last week as well.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, and I'm here for it. I think he's a breath of fresh air, Sonny Edwards. Despite some people maybe giving him a little bit of stick for not, let's be honest, not being a puncher at all. But do you know what? It doesn't take away from the excitement of a Sonny Edwards fight for me because you know what way he's going to box. You know he's not going to go for the knockout, so you're preparing yourself for 36 minutes. But just still watching him and the way he goes about his business is a joy. And I think he's one of those as well, mate. That in the past you've watched him, even the night he became world champion against Muntilani. Everyone was like, right, yep, Sonny, he's 7 rounds in here. He's probably won 5 or 6 of the rounds, maybe even all of them. But he'll probably still get caught at some stage here. He can't do this for 12 rounds. But he's constantly delivered and constantly has delivered for the full 12 rounds, 36 minutes every time. And it remains to be seen whether he'll be doing that again against Jesse Rodriguez. I think, obviously, it's a bit of a discredit to Bam saying that he is just a come forward kind of power puncher that kind of takes away from his actual boxing ability, in my opinion. I think the only thing I would say is, yes, he's undefeated and he's looked sensational. There's obviously a few highlight wins there as well. Most notably, obviously the Rungvisai one is a big one, and a few others. But I think he's never fought anyone with the footwork and ring IQ of Sonny Edwards. Maybe IQ is not fair, but footwork certainly, and just the way Sonny Edwards moves is absolutely incredible. He's one of them where I've mentioned it a few times before with Lomachenko. It's like he's right in front of you. You throw your jab, and by the time you've thrown your jab, he's moved to the other side of the ring and already hit you with 4 counter punches. Do you know what I mean? He's that type of fighter. We may as well kind of get on to our predictions now, mate. I have a feeling we both, because we obviously did the preview. You and I believe you did the big fight breakdown as well. So if you haven't seen them, guys, go and check them out in the channel. But I believe you and I probably have a similar opinion on this fight, Elliot. Do you want to just kind of tell us how you see this one playing out on Saturday, December 16th, and whether or not your mind has changed at all?
Thank you very much, Paul, for that eloquent summation. I think you know what, my heart obviously wants Sonny Edwards to win, and in preview we were disagreeing slightly on what we think should happen, but we both wanted obviously him to win. I still I still favour Rodriguez, frankly. I still think Rodriguez might catch him at some point. However, I don't want that to happen. I'd much rather see Sonny Edwards win this fight. I think like you were describing, the pattern of the fight, I think will obviously be Sonny Edwards essentially going backwards, counter punching. Obviously, not going to stand and trade with Rodriguez, is he? And Bam essentially going forward. So again, the question for me really is, how will the judges see it? It'd be quite tough. That's scoring a Sonny Edwards fight. It's gonna be quite tough. It's like you say, over in the US as well. We've seen some cards, like I think it was a comment on Twitter recently where people were saying, you see some judges will score the fight in favour of a fighter who's walking forward and punching thin air, which might well happen, to be honest, for large periods on Saturday. And agree that Sonny Edwards will have to fight all 36 minutes if he's going to win. I don't see there's any chance of him stopping Rodriguez. I think there's maybe a chance Rodriguez will stop Sonny. And that is, to be honest with you, where I'm going. I think Rodriguez might get him somewhere latter half of the fight, somewhere sort of 8+. I maybe even go later than that, maybe sort of like 10+, 9, 10, maybe no, 9, 10, 11 sort of sits with me. So I'm still favouring that. I'm still favouring Rodriguez late stoppage, but I'm hoping that Sonny's got his rattled, and I'm hoping he gets on his bike and gets a UD. Frankly, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'd love to see. But I'm backing. If I was a money man, emotion out of it, I'm backing Rodriguez KO.
And just before I give you my final prediction as well, do you feel that Rodriguez will get to him at some stage, but Edwards could be well up on the cards?
I think no. I think Edwards should be up on the cards, definitely. Again, it depends on how they're judging it, but I think he will be up on the cards. I think yeah, boxing ability wise, he's got everything to trouble Rodriguez. But I just feel like this is such a big jump for Sonny, and also like you mentioned, some of the guys that Bam's already fought, guys that can hit as well. And I feel like, and a higher weight as well. So I feel like he's not going to be overwhelmed by Sonny Edwards. Sonny Edwards is his biggest fight by a distance. This is not necessarily, well, it is obviously a unification fight, but it's not necessarily the toughest opponent power punch wise or power wise that Rodriguez has faced. So that danger isn't necessarily there. The danger is obviously in getting outboxed. So I think it might bring its own challenges. But I still feel like it might be a bit of a leap too soon for Sonny. I'd like to have seen, as I said in the preview with you, I'd like to have seen him in with someone like Quadras or Arroyo or some of those other sort of stepping stone names before he took on this challenge, or before he takes on Estrada, or before he tries to get Chocolatito over to Sheffield. I'd rather see him had maybe a step up. But if he comes off and he wins it, all power to him, mate, and I wish he does.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I had in my head that for some reason that you were going to pick Sonny Edwards, and I was going to agree with you. But we actually do obviously have a disagreement here now, because you know what? I'm fully on the Showtime hype train. I'm fully on the 21-0 that he's talking about. Sonny Edwards, get me some of that 21-0 merch that he's been rocking in fight week. In all seriousness, mate, I think everything you've said I completely agree with, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if Bam got to Edwards and did clip him. But I think Sonny Edwards is capable of doing what he does best for 36 minutes. I think he'll frustrate Bam. The more the fight will go on, I feel like Rodriguez could potentially get reckless. I think he'll be coming out to try and stop Sonny Edwards as well, because of this, how annoying or how under his skin he's got during fight week, I think. So that again, I think Sonny Edwards, that's part of the plan. He's trying to rattle Bam, and I think he has done. And we'll see, mate. But I think obviously, I'm not going to say Sonny Edwards gets knocked down and wins or anything, but I think it will have to come through adversity. But I ultimately see him winning it well on the scorecards, mate, which is what my final prediction is. I'm going with the Sonny Edwards.
Go on,
I will say unanimous decision, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was majority or split or something, depending on the scorecards. But yeah, I'm going with the Englishman. Sonny Edwards is unifying the flyweight division and bringing another belt back home to Sheffield, as you say. Guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think's going to win? Me and Elliot have a disagreement. I'm sure there'll be plenty of disagreements in the comments. Seems like a general 50-50 fight. So yeah, let us know your thoughts. Is it Edwards points, or will Bam beat him and kind of silence Sonny Edwards? And we will see. All that's left to do now is watch the fight, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Elliot, thanks very much for joining me, mate, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you very much, Paul. And again, as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.